The Week 6 NFL Bomb edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code BOMBS to get a 50% deposit up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And with that, let's do it. Let's start the show. A little late, but here we come. Way to go. Me, as I find the button. Why do I always look for this? Yes, welcome. Welcome to the Bottom Line. Bombs, I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the bet detective, the laddie daddy, the deli llama, scumbagger Vance, and of course the man in the box. Woo, we are broadcasting live. It is now today, Thursday, October 10th. 12:30 prime time. I'm just a little prime time, Pacific time. A little late, a lot of late. Actually, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because most of you listen to the podcast anyway. Its time is inevitable. But for the live broadcasters, I had to push a little late. It was an accident coming in. I'll get into that. We got today's show, NFL Week 6 Bomb Edition. I'll get 5 more contest picks, a Survivor entry for those still in it, which I am still in one of the offshore accounts, if you will. We got a man in the box segment about the Major League Baseball playoffs. I have a lot to say about that. I'm not even going to get into it now because I'll get going. And we also have a Browns report. What's going on with the Browns and Deshaun Watson? We have our Browns insider Brian McGannon calling in later with the Browns report. But thank you, everyone. The chat room already blowing up. We got Kyle Boland. I haven't seen him in a while with a set brah. We got Eric Turman, who's a faithful. Hello, the old Washington insider. And then we got Seda Man 3 says, "What's up, CJ? What's up, Seda Man? What's up, C-Generates? C-Generates, you are here. Good. We got a great show. Let's get right into it. Like I said, I am a couple minutes late. I apologize. It wasn't my fault. There was an accident on the 134. Backed up a long time. I mean, really backed up. Not even like you can see ahead and go around it. This thing was like miles. Like, oh, what is this? The kind of accident, bumper to bumper, where you're like, somebody better be dead. I want to see carnage. I want to see blood. I don't want to see some girl. I don't want to see some idiots up there on their phones like, well, you hit my bumper and I hit my bumper. Good. Get this shit to the side of the road. That's one of my pet peeves. When people get in their accidents and they just leave the fucking cars there and do their arguing. Get this thing over to the side of the road. That's where we need street enforcer, Sean Cole, to come in. But this was finally we got up there and it was a truck, an 18-wheeler, engine just blown out. So it was like looked like foam everywhere. Wasn't quite deadly human body, but it was enough for like, oh, this guy's pretty fucked. He's going to have a rough day at work having to call this in. Truck drivers have it bad enough. So if I didn't feel too bad, like, maybe my podcast can wait 20 minutes as this guy's next 4 months is easily destroyed because of this accident. He might even lose his job. So come on in. Weston Van Rankin says, let's go. That's right. We are going live. So amazing. All right. Let's get into the show. I don't have much time to waste. Now that I talked about that accident, the non-fatal, but the damage done for me to be justified for it to be late. Monday, I'll recap that real quick. The Chiefs, of course, beat the Saints. We were on the Saints plus 5.5. That was a loser. We did hit the Juwan Johnson props though. So for Chop, we hit that over receptions and receptions yards. Not the latter, but we got enough to get our money back, at least with the awful Saints play. Kansas City, they just amaze me. It seems like the worse they become, the more shittier they play, the more indestructible they are. You just can't stop them. And they get worse and worse. You look at Mahomes' numbers; they're no better than Danny Jones, for crying out loud. But you can't beat them. They're invincible, and they're playing horrible. Even though that was probably their best game they played, but they still played bad. I learned a couple things. One, Kansas City, just surrender, just give in. I used to complain about them. First of all, they are the worst franchise. We didn't realize how good we had it with the New England dynasty, not franchise, dynasty. I mean, Kansas City's a dynasty. They're the best. No denying that. But good God, are they annoying. It's like they're built on flags and just commercials. And so, like, at least the Patriots didn't do commercials. Yeah, they were hell, but they're doing a show about their wags. Oh my God. But now I'm just going to give in. Instead of sitting there complaining every week that they get calls, which they do, just admit it. Yeah, that's what happens. So just go for the ride. That's what I love when they say, well, sports are rigged. All right, well, if they're rigged, then join the rigged side. Can't beat them, join them. That Xavier Worthy touchdown, I know when Xavier Worthy's mom stole all the headlines there when they showed her mom, like, oh God, who's she? Who's that 28-year-old mom? It's Xavier Worthy's mom. Really? All right. The play before, they called a defensive holding on the Saints on a run. It was like a 6-yard run. They called defensive holding, like on a nose tackle. What? They don't replay it. They're just like, here we go. 1st and goal, Kansas City, touchdown, celebration, Xavier Worthy's mom. So here it is. Robert Martin, welcome to the chat. Check it in, Mr. Sullivan from Alaska, if I believe, Robert Martin. Good to see you. Good to see the chat coming in. So anyway, let's move past that because we have week 6 coming up. Is that right? Week 5, week 6, right? Yeah, week 6. October 10th. Wow, the season's going along really fine. But we got a lot of things going on. We got North Carolina. I just came back from North Carolina. Of course, Hurricane Helene has been devastating to the people of Western North Carolina. Now you have a new one in Florida. SGPN is teaming up with a local charity, mountainprojects.org, to help give back the biggest donation, which will get a guest spot on the College Football Pick Show and a ton of gear. So go to mountainprojects.org and hit flood support. Help out today. Thank you very much. And also, thank you for tuning in to the Bottom Line Bombs. I should always thank you and be appreciative of that. If you can head to Spotify, give me a 5-star rating, because only you can prevent corporate gambling from taking over and getting me out of here where traffic isn't doing that too much. All right, we have a Thursday night game tonight. I might as well tell that for the live viewers out here tuning in. We have Seattle and San Francisco. Line is 3.5. Total is 49. That's a high total, but I think deservedly so. If anything, I like the over in this game. San Francisco's defense is not good. San Francisco's still good. They have the talent, but their defense is not good. Thursday night game, short week. Seattle had a bad spot. That sandwich game where they looked awful versus the Giants, and they looked awful. That game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Everyone likes San Fran because they have to win. They are coming off a horrendous loss to Arizona. San Fran just plays with their food too much. I don't know. Seattle is my team preseason to win this division as far as value guys goes. That's starting to look worse. Both teams did not look good last week. I'm inclined to take Seattle plus 3.5 at home on Thursday night, only because common sense says the Niners. But I like the Thursday night home team. Short week. Just with that defense, I don't want to lay. But that defense, I don't want to lay points with San Francisco. I just don't want to do it. So I'm just going to play the over. 49 over Seattle, San Francisco. Let's bomb this. There's a couple props we can hit. Let's take a look at some of these props. See the man. Oh, he likes Jordan Mason first touchdown. Looks chunky. I always like tossing a first touchdown in there. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. I love Kenneth Walker the third. Coach said they got to give him the ball. Yeah, I like anytime they talk about it. He did not get enough. Kenneth Walker is the best player in the field, I think. Anytime he steps on, I love Kenneth Walker. His over-under for rushing yards has been flying up all week. It is at 66.5. Wow. It was at 59 earlier. Jordan Mason, 86.5. Charbonnet at 15.5. If anything, I would like a Charbonnet receiving yards. Let's go with that. Let's see what that's looking at. I'll still take Kenneth Walker. I just think Kenneth Walker is an absolute beast. But let's take a look at receiving. 66.5 yards seems high. Receiving yards, we got Ayuk at 68.5. Jawan Jennings, Jordan Mason 9.5, Kenneth Walker 23.5. What do we got? Charbonnet over 14.5 receiving yards. That's what we're gonna play right there. Zach Zinfandel Charbonnet over 14.5 receiving. Big bang. Now, how about Kenneth Walker carries? Now that's a possibility. But I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid of the San Francisco. That's 14.5. That's a lot too. That's 15 carries. And he will be the bell cow. Now he did leave with an injury. He's been in and out. Game script sometimes takes him out. Game script will not take him out of this game. They're going to be in this game. It's going to go back and forth. So let's rock Kenneth Walker over 14.5 carries. Charbonnet over receiving. And you want a fun first touchdown? My man, like Mason, I bet on lines only 4.5 to 1. I said, when I go first touchdown, I like to roll the dice. Why not? Who wants to play the chalk when it comes to first touchdown? This is where we look for backup tight ends. We look for backup burners. You know what I mean? You look for your fullbacks, your Kyle Juszczyks, if you will. Quarterback, Brock Purdy at 34 to 1 seems insane. But here you go. Defenses are always fun to play. Here's my first touchdown. 2 first touchdown bombs on each side. If you can't do backup tight ends, which you can, I also like backup burners. Meaning your deep threats that are not just out there and they come out of nowhere, especially in a game where I think there's going to be a shootout. And I do think tonight will be a shootout. I think over 49 is my favorite play of the day today. Jake Bobo for Seattle. This is a WAS right here, a white angle release, if you will. If you're familiar, CIrca with the man in the box. There's you might have heard of in gambling the right angle sports, right angle RAS they call it, right angle sports. That's a service that gives out numbers. They used to move numbers with their college basketball totals. And they don't move numbers as much as they say they do now. But they do a thing that's really arrogant. They do a right angle release where they'll do a live stream and it'll make it really suspenseful. And then they'll say a name. They'll say, get it fired up, get it queued up. And then they'll say if it's real or fake just to see if the lines move. Just to fool the casinos. They actually think they're fooling the casinos, the right angle releases. They'll be like, okay, Tyler Lockett. Number 923 on the docket. Everyone get Tyler Lockett in Seattle queued up. It is a fake. It's a false alarm. That's not a play. And then everyone's like, come on, I already bet it. And they do it to see if the line moves. It's a bit ridiculous. So I give out CIrca's white angle release sports, not right angle, white angles. And that's when I'll give out a white skilled player for a prop. And it might be real, it might be fake. You can only tell. Now, the white angle, if you don't know, Christian McCaffrey, the king of the white angles, the white skilled player, there's very few of them, obviously. And the reason why they do successfully is because defenders can't believe how fast they are because they're white. And they take a bad angle. They take a white angle, and then they'll run into each other. Yo! Think of the Dallas Goedert huge play when the Eagles beat the Saints on that 3rd and 20 the slant. 3 Saint defenders ran into each other because they couldn't believe how fast he was. Now, normally tight ends don't make it for my wide angle releases because you have to be a skilled player. You can't cheat. The Whites kind of own the, I just said we. The Whites can own the fullback and tight end department. So here we go. Here's my wide angle for first touchdown tonight. This might be real. This might be fake. For Seattle, wide receiver Steve Largent. Steve Largent. Have it queued up. That is a fake. Fake. Steve Largent is not a play tonight. Not a play. Okay, just wanted to see if the books were sharp. Oh, yep, I see. Yep, I see a few books lines are moving. Caesars went down. Caesars went down to 15-1 from $1 million because he's retired. It went from $1 million to 15-1. That's how powerful these wide angle releases are. And now, the next wide angle release for first touchdown. Jake Bobo, 40-1. Jake Bobo. Jake Bobo is a play. That's a play. Bomb it. Bomb Jake Bobo. Wide angle release. There it is. First touchdown. Oh, man. All right. That'll do it for tonight's Thursday night football game. So I have an overplay of 49. Jake Bobo, first touchdown. Kenneth Walker, over 65.5 yards rushing. Zach Charbonnet, over, was it 14.5 receiving, I said? There it is. So there's your boy play. Robert Martin says, loves it. Robert Martin is dead from laughing. I appreciate it. There's your Waz release. I might have another Waz release later. As we get into the 5 bombs here on week 6 coming up in the NFL. We also have the Cleveland Brown insider report from our own very Brian McGannon, B-Mac G, the Cleveland Brown insider, a man in a box segment, and even a survivor play. So much to get into. But first, of course, let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog. Oh, we've got to talk about Underdog. If I'm talking about bottom line bombs. Underdog Pick'em has been one of the biggest menus for all sports: NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and more. The lobby's jam-packed with profit boosts. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries. I'm going with Kenneth Walker special, along with your Brianna Stewart, whatever. Sign up with promo code BOMBS to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS, code BOMBS, BOMBS. And we're back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I'm your host, the bet detective, CJ Sullivan, laddie daddy. There it was. That was the X-Files theme song. Yes. Robert Martin says he loves that theme song. It is fun. I learned the hard way. I knew I pushed the envelope last week, C-Generates, with the last show with the Freebird. I got a little carried away with Joe Flacco, calling him Freebird. I played a lot of the song, and we kind of knew there was going to be a licensing dispute with that, and they came after me. What's funny, it was the alive members of Leonard Skinner were fine, but it was the dead members. The dead members of Leonard Skinner, they still want their royalties, those sons of bitches. So I got to be careful with the music I play. I got to find new licensed music. So let's play. I should have some fucking theme music for this. I never have my theme music ready, but we're gonna go into. All right, here we go. We're gonna go to London for our first bomb for the Circa Million Pick 5 contest. We need to improve our records, degenerates. Things have been going terrible. It's been a bad season so far. We all know the Survivor things. We all know the Sicker Millions. The picks were bad. We had one good week for crying out loud. But it's been tough. Big dogs been hitting. Little dogs have not. It's been all over the place. But that's okay. We're looking forward. We can still win some quarterly prizes. We can still get back. There's plenty of football to go. We can get our way into it. And now we start off with London. There was the first European game last week for the Jets Vikings. That slop always happens. But now, see, last week's European game was the annoying American relative who goes over there like, hey, cousin, I'm coming to visit. I want you to show me all the sights. You know, they're like, what the fuck? We don't want anything to do with this. We don't want to. Oh God, our American relatives are coming over. Yeah, they're going to see all the tourist sites. Yeah, they buy all the berets. You know, they're like the Griswolds coming over, and no one wants to see it. But this is a different European trip. These are the Jacksonville Jaguars. They do this every year. They love going to England. They're there for a couple weeks. They're not just there for a smash and grab, turn around, turn back. This isn't a business trip. They're checking out property. They're trying to invest dollars over there. Jacksonville loves Europe. Captain Insano, welcome to the chat. He says the Jags should just pick up Sally. He still might be there. I know. How great would that have been if the Jets just left Robert Sally in London or in Europe? I know. It is. Big Ben Parliament. That's going to be the Bears this week. That's what I'm trying to say. The Bears, the Griswolds are from Chicago. They're Bears fans. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to want to see all the tourists. They're going to be like, hey, we're Bears in England. We're going to be drinking up, partying up there. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to be like, hey, when in Rome, when in London, drinking pints, wearing scarves, yelling at you. They're going to be the obnoxious tourists. Jacksonville knows exactly what's going on. They're a little pretentious about it, but at least they're not obnoxious about it. They're the kind of guys... They're kind of people that they go to someone else's country or city and they tell you what you should be doing there. Oh, you don't go to Mario's Fish and Chips? Oh, you got to go there. That's where everyone goes. Really? I live here. I've never heard of it. Oh, come on. Oh, I was on TripAdvisor. I want all the secret blogs. Yeah, let me tell you where. So Jaguars, this is what they've been waiting for. I've always wanted to do that, do a travel show called You're Doing It Wrong. Because every travel show, it's back, you know, whatever. The guy who killed himself, too. That chef. I can't think of his name. Bourdain, Anthony Bourdain. Goes to their culture, you know, and learns about their culture, learns about their foods, and has locals take them around. I don't want to do that. I want to go to a different country, different city, whatever, have a local, and I take them around, and I show them how to do their city. You're doing it wrong. That's me. That's why I like these Jags. The Jags go over to England. They show you what to do. They got the spots that they learned about. Listen, I read an article about this. I know an influencer. I know where to go. Now, of course, we're using all the point spreads from the CIrca contest. The line here is Chicago -2, Jacksonville +2. The Bears should not be favorites. This is crazy. I know they just blew out Carolina. Good for you. Caleb Williams had your first good game. Congratulations. Jacksonville, yeah, they looked bad, but they turned it around. They got a big win last week. They've been a little snake bitten as well, too. They should have beat Miami. That opening game. Trevor Lawrence knows he looks European with that hair. We'll take the Jags +2 because you just don't beat Jacksonville in Europe. And they play the Patriots next week. Oh, once they're settled in, they got the travelers checks. They know the conversion rate. They're not getting ripped off. Jacksonville +2 first bomb. I had that marked off before the season. You just don't beat the Jags in Europe. It just doesn't happen. Remember last year they beat the Bills and the Bills were rolling because they know the mush. They know the land of the lines. You know, they know the fucking whatever. Point is, now when they come back, they're insufferable. They're the ones who they come back to America. They still refer to it as the States. You know, they talk about their time overseas. Relax. You studied a semester abroad. You're not the Jacques Cousteau. Anyway. Next bomb we have. Now, this is a fun one, too. Let's see. Let me take a look at the lines here as I go through the CIrca lines. We will have the let's see. Let's go with this Tampa Bay Saints game. Tampa Bay is -3, which is a dead number since it's at now 3.5. And we all know you got to play dead numbers in these contests, degenerates. Tampa Bay in New Orleans. Now, New Orleans is coming off a short week. They just lost at Kansas City. They've done a hilarious turnaround in 1 month. Has there been a quicker turnaround in 1 month than these Saints? The first 2 weeks were like, this is the greatest offensive. This might be the 99 Rams they got a Kubiak out there. No one can figure out this offense. They're scoring 40 a game. And it was versus Carolina and Dallas. Then Philly humbled them a bit. And they should have won a game in Atlanta. I'll give them that. But now they're awful again. And then Derek Carr got hurt. Who did they bring in for Derek Carr? Hold on. Let's see if I can get something good for this. They brought in some guy who looked like a 12-year-old. And then they brought in we're not ready for him. They're going to bring in Spencer Rattler.
Smoking my weed.
Spencer Rattler was an odd character. He's been to like 7 colleges. Spencer Rattler was the quarterback at Oklahoma before Caleb Williams was there. Then Caleb Williams they were like competing, and then he had to transfer. He went everywhere. And then wound up in South Carolina, wound up with a good year. Spencer Rattler comes from that weird long line of Oklahoma quarterbacks with the curly red hair, with pock marks. But he's that odd breed of wigger quarterback, of the white wiggers. Not the Christian whites, which is what you kind of white for what you kind of want for your quarterback, but the wigger type is the guy who's like, you don't know if he's country or is he trying to act black? What's he doing? Now that word itself is an odd word because it's a word that seems very cancelable. Seems like, boy, you shouldn't be able to say that word. It's obvious to put together where it comes from. You don't need a stenographer to learn, the origin of the word. But it's one of those odd words where it's so universally hated. Those people are so universally hated that it's just an acceptable word. You know what? It's a good word. We hate them so much. Go ahead and say it. And that's what Spencer Rattler is. They've had a few. Oklahoma. Wegman for A&M right now is one of them. He'll coach, switch, and that's not how they talk when they're at home with their family. Man, yeah, man. Chris Olave's my boy. I get that dog the ball every time. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Spencer Rattler? When do you get him the ball? After practice, when you carry his fucking luggage? What do you mean? You get him the ball. You don't play, but he plays this week. Eric Turner wants to know if Dennis Allen's the next coach fired. I mean, he definitely damn well should be or could be. Amazing the Robert Saleh fired. But it was funny how he was the coach of the year candidate 2 weeks ago. Now he's going to get fired. Tampa Bay is coming off 10 days rest. They played last Thursday in a game they should have won. Short week for the Saints on the road. We just saw this situation happen with Seattle in Detroit on a Monday night. Short week, a big game versus a tough opponent, which they were up for. Now they had to come home against a bad opponent and the Giants, and they got the doors blown off them, even though it was a last-second field goal block. But for the Giants, that's a blowout. This is the exact same situation, but now you're starting Spencer Rattler, who did some good things on the preseason. Good for you. Congratulations, Spencer. You can't have a wigger named Spencer, too. What? That's what it is. Spencer, you don't talk like that. Spencer, you went to a private school. Your name is Spencer. No Spencer talks like a rapper. That's a rule. Now, Baker, you can do just fine. We like Baker. Everyone loves Baker. This is the kind of game Baker wins. Baker beats terrible quarterbacks and terrible teams. I'm not even saying Spencer Rattler is a terrible quarterback, but he hasn't. He's given himself a long time to prove himself in a college career. Maybe he'll be good in the pros. Who knows? But not in his first start versus Tampa Bay. And this Todd Bowles defense coming out of him. So Spencer, coach, switch this one up. Tampa Bay -3. Bomb it. All right. We'll go for the maybe usable or non-usable W word, because you can't say the W word. That's why we just allow wigger. We just allow it. Cole Beasley for the Buffalo Bills. He had a rap album, CBs. He was a wigger. Anyway, I'll stop saying that word. It doesn't feel like you should be able to say it. That's for sure. But you can. That's how much we hate them. All right, next game. Let's go to. Oh boy, we're getting running a little late here, but that's fine. So I'll make this real quick then. Denver Chargers. This is interesting. This is an interesting game right here. Line is Chargers -3. Chargers are coming off a bye. Harbaugh. They will be a little more healthy now. So people do like the Chargers here. I don't know. I just don't know about this Charger team yet. Denver, are they a good team? They might be. I don't know if I'm ready for Denver to be a good team. Denver burned me so bad last year. They're a team where I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to bring them back into my life. I'm happy they're doing well. You know, it's like one of those X's like, are we good together, Denver? Every time I bring you in, we always wind up hurting each other. Every time. When were we going to learn our lesson? But then, you know, they kind of get themselves right. They get a little therapy. They clean up a little bit. They show themselves. They show a little intuition. You're like, all right, Denver. They got a good defense locked up with Patrick Surtain. But here is why they're getting 3 points with this defense. The Chargers aren't a team that blows out teams. Not with their conservative style. And I also don't know what's going on with Justin Herbert. And of course, you have the altitude. Well, Harbaugh's going to love the altitude. He loves any obstacle like that. Now, the altitude is a bit overrated. They always act like they're playing on the moon or something. Oh, wait till that altitude kicks in. Oh, you're a mile high above sea level. It's like you're floating. Gravity doesn't even apply. Gatorade bottles are floating in the air. The Chargers don't have a lot of great receivers, but they do have Ladd McConkey, who is a Waz. He's my new Waz release. Well, I would give out Ladd McConkey. It looks like Herbert's starting to lock him in, but this might be the only team in the league that has an answer for Ladd McConkey. Denver Broncos, other than Patrick Surtain on this great defense, they have their own white cornerback. A white cornerback? What? Yes, they do. His name is Riley Moss. He had an interception last week. And you could tell, how much the rest of the team, like, white skilled players are such mascots. It's so it's hilarious. It also have Keyshawn Johnson called Wayne Corbett a mascot, even though he had like 1,000 yards receiving and 100 catches. They just, because they're such novelties. Riley Moss had an interception. The fucking team went crazy. Like he was a special needs player. Like those Make-A-Wish kids, you know, when they put a Make-A-Wish, hey, we just want this dying kid to score a touchdown. Hey, defense, do you mind if you guys just like act like you're going to tackle him and jump at his feet or something? And they do that. And everyone's like, yeah, let's go. Come on, Stewie. You're going to score a touchdown before you die in the next month, which will be very soon because there's no cure for your disease, but we're going to let you score a touchdown. That's what they do for white skilled professional skilled athletes. And when Riley Moss had a pick for the Broncos, that's what they did. Like, yeah, they lifted him up like he was Rudy. What? He's a starting corner for your defense. But he knows the shifty white angles of McConkey. Two white rookies who know white angles. So he will lock up Lad McConkey. Surtain will lock up Quentin Johnson or whoever the hell else they throw out the receiver. We're just going to stick with that. Meeting Harbaugh and Harbaugh, he loves the white angle as well. When he was in Stanford, I've never seen a more insane white lineup than Stanford used to throw out there. With Toby Gerhardt, they had white running backs, white receivers, white D-back. I mean, what? They had an entire white D-back. What the hell was going on up there? Who are you, BYU? Someone had to step in. That was crazy. Anyway, but there are 3 white D-backs starting this year. I know. D-backs is different though. You need a corner, a starting corner, not even nickel. I know Cooper DeJean is getting to start this week in Philly in front of Maddox, thank God. But this is going to be a lockup, white on white angle. We're going to take Denver Broncos +3, home dog by it. And Bonner. Can't forget Bonner. You're right. Insane. But DeJean, a lot of them was in the nickels. I'm talking about straight up corners. Anyway. All right. Let me tell you about, that was 3 bombs I gave you. But first, let me tell you about BetUS, where you can bet these 3 bombs, where you can bet Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and Denver. BetUS is the best in the business. It has been around for more than 30 years. Easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. I did this yesterday. I set up an account. Because U.S. players are welcome. You sign up, you deposit $100, and you got a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. A bet I like? Oh, I just said it. Jacksonville +2. I even take the money line. Use our link to sign up. Get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN. So they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. Also, Rhythm. Can't forget about Rhythm. The Rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. With props. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model. Copy one of the top performing models for the leaderboard or press build a model from me, and Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop and also has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more better insights. Rhythm likes Cortland Sutton to score a touchdown this week. I do too. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamingpodcast.com/RITHMM. That's sportsgamingpodcast.com/RITHMM. I think Bo Nix. I should probably wait because I have to do the pause here. Now we're back. There we go. Now we're back. Let me timestamp that for later on because the man in the box has to self-produce, self-evidence, do everything. Woo, boy, oh boy. Jacksonville money line. Kyle Boland, who is the fantasy guru of VoodooBrown.com, 7-time champion of the CCFL, says Cortland Sutton is going to blow up. That can mean either 2 things when it comes from Kyle Boland, who is a fantasy expert. That can either mean Cortland Sutton is up for a big game today, or he's going against Cortland Sutton and he's doing his reverse jinx, which is insufferable. Either way, Cortland Sutton, he is a poor receiver being wasted with that quarterback play. But I do think he does. I think Bo Nix is improving. I do. He's making it more passable. I like the fact that he yelled at Sean Payton. All right. Pardon me, my throat goes a little bit. I was editing my final road to 10 million. See generates. I might as well do some plugging real quick before we get into the next 2 bombs, the Survivor and the Man in the Box. Thank you, everyone who is watching live on YouTube. And if you're watching on X right now, I don't mind, but I want you to hop on over to the YouTube, and that way you can join in these comments. You can throw your things in here, and you can enrage me. You can engage me. You can do whatever you want. Hit the thumbs up button, please. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the like button. We need some likes. As I say, I don't care if you don't like me, but tell your phone you like me. Tell YouTube you like me. Let the phones talk. Let the phone settle it out. Follow me on Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken _ in between each words, or on X at CJ Sullivan _ Eric Turman, our Washington insider, says it's a reverse jinx. They must be playing each other this week, Blue Steel and team management, because yeah, there's no way he thinks Cortland Sutton's going to blow up. Point is, you follow me there. We do all these things. Let's get into that Washington game, Eric Turman, because I like this. This Washington Commander team. Another one I have to surrender to. I have to surrender to Kansas City. The fact that the worse they get, the more unstoppable they are. And Washington, ever since they knocked me out of my Survivor and my road to 10 million on that Monday night game for Cincinnati, which, by the way, the conclusion all week long next week will be my conclusion videos of the road to 10 million. I put out a trailer today. I went to the beach here in Santa Monica to find some serenity, to find my next path, and we got some good content. Like I said, tip of the cap to Jaden Daniels that night versus Cincinnati. That's when he showed everyone. Apparently, he's the greatest quarterback who ever played football. And their defense was supposed to be the worst defense. But now, who knows? Now they've held back-to-back opponents to 10 points. One of them, Arizona, which is not a bad offense. I mean, maybe Washington is the greatest football team since the 85 Bears. Maybe they're that good. Apparently they are. Now, of course, there's regression coming with Washington. And I want it, and I keep fading Washington, and I keep getting pissed in the face. I mean, they're getting Washington blowing out. I had Arizona. They killed Arizona. I didn't go with Cleveland, but that was definitely the play. That was the sharp play. Washington destroyed them. It's incredible. Now, they are getting 6.5 points at Baltimore. This is a game I would wanted to fade Washington, but this is a rivalry game. Washington and Baltimore is a rivalry. Baltimore, of course, is looking great. They should have lost last week for Cincinnati. They didn't. I mean, should have lost, should have, would have, could have. They played good enough to win, obviously. They scored 41 points. Lamar was incredible. But their defense does not look good. And this is definitely a letdown spot for Baltimore coming off that huge Cincinnati overtime game. Usually we're going overtime. So when you're giving me 6.5 with this insane Washington team, did you see, did Stephen A. Smith go on with Redskins or something on TV the other day? And they fucking people freak out. It's so funny when they tell who the Commanders are. They should have called themselves the Indians, Washington Indians. Just take Cleveland. Take Cleveland's Indian name, and the Indians should call themselves the Redskins. That's what you got to call themselves logo. To save themselves logos? What am I talking about? The Washington Commanders. I like the football team better than Commanders. But they do got something going on. Is their defense that bad? Yes. Derrick Henry should have a monster game. This could also be one of those games like Detroit when they went to Baltimore last year and Baltimore won by 40. I just don't think Baltimore is ready for that. I think this is going to be a game. This is going to be one of those typical malaise letdown game spots. That traffic, get that area all fired up. That's a horrible area too out there. What was I saying? I can't even remember. This is a John Riggins type game. Good Lord. What was I saying? Jaden Daniels rushing. That's my favorite thing too. Lamar Jackson. They want Lamar Jackson to compare to Jaden Daniels. Is he the same player as you? We're white sports reporters. We only know how to compare black quarterbacks by running. So what you must tell him something, right? But he's looked good for sure. Football team was perfect, Kyle Bolin said. I said they should even have just called themselves. Actually, you know what's funny about Washington? Like, Indians, okay. Their logo was bad. Indians, I don't even think was a bad name. They just changed the name because whatever. I mean, Indians is a word. It's a thing that describes something. I mean, I guess you can't call yourselves the Puerto Ricans. That'd be bad. But with the Indians and the Redskins, the name was bad. The logo was fine. Indians, the name was fine, but the logo was terrible. They needed to switch off. Like that Chief Wahoo logo was highly offensive. I mean, you don't have to be, even the most racist people got to be like, yeah, I can see where they're, they got a little out of hand with that smile, didn't they? Now, Redskins, the name is bad, but it's because you have the logo of an Indian, because Redskin is a derogatory term for Indians. There's no way around that. I don't care how fucking asshole white conservative you are. Oh, only white people get offended. All right, it's still it's an offensive name. But if you change the logo and put put a picture of me up there, put a sunburnt Irishman up there, an Irishman on vacation, me, Narcovelli, an undercover cop. I have that cop on vacation look going. So you say Redskins and then my face on the helmet? All right, not too offensive. Why? Because it's Irish. No one gives a fuck if you insult the Irish. They don't care. Look at the Notre Dame logo. Fighting Irish. It's a fighting Irishman. It's a guy with his fist come up because that was a stereotype when they came over here. These fucking dumb Irishmen. They beat up their kids. They become cops. They fight everyone. That's what they do. Make them the fighting Irishman. No one complains about that logo because who gives a shit? So keep the Redskin name, put my face on the helmet, or any other sunburnt Irishman with a huge, huge Ted Kennedy-sized head, and you're okay. Eric Turman says Redskins with a Redskin potato logo would have been the best option. That would have been pretty funny. Anyway. The game itself, Derrick Henry, he'll probably have a monster game. This is a game Baltimore could run away with, but at 6.5, with the way the big dog's been covering, Washington is just too hot of a team right now to be giving 6.5 points to. I just don't feel like they're going to go out there and just get blown out. So give me Washington plus 6.5 because we need a big dog. So far, that's 2 favorites, right? We have Jacksonville -2, we have Tampa Bay -3, and we have Carolina +6. There's a lot of other games that almost made the card. I got to get to the 5th one real quick because then we got the Survivor with the Cleveland Brown Insider, and we have a man in the box. So let me hurry up here. We have Arizona, Green Bay. Green Bay is -4.5. We have Cincinnati Giants. Cincinnati's -3.5. We have Detroit, Dallas, and probably the favorite game of the weekend. That's the revenge game for when Detroit got screwed on that lineman ineligible report game. I like all those. I liked Arizona plus the points. That didn't make the card. I like Detroit there in the revenge game. I don't know. It's interesting. A lot of people, I get the names fired up. Buford T. Justice, I'm sorry, says Washington football team he likes. Utah Hockey Club, not so much. I'll get into that Utah Hockey Club in another episode when I have enough time. But we're gonna go with Bengals -3.5 on Sunday night versus the Giants. Let's take it easy now with the Giants only getting 3.5 points versus the Bengals. The Bengals, I know they're 1-4, and they might wind up winning 3 games this year and be the best team in football somehow. That's what kind of weird season. I think the Bengals are one of the best teams in football. They should have beat Baltimore at home last week. They had 2 10-point leads, one with like 8 minutes to go. They should have beat Kansas City on the road with that 4th and 15 pass interference call. They destroyed Carolina. They lit up Washington. They just went against the greatest performance of all time with Jaden Daniels. Like I said, they had 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, 3 field goals. Those teams were usually 24-0. They became 24-1. They just didn't. They did a no-show, whatever. versus New England in the opener. Now they go to a Sunday night game versus the Giants, who just had an absurd upset in Seattle. The Giants are not winning back-to-back games. End of analysis. Bengals Sunday night -3.5. Don't think twice about it. Bomb it. And you'll have the annoying Chris Collinsworth doing the game with Tirico. Chris Collinsworth, an ex-Bengals receiver. Maybe they'll show the footage of him racing a horse, which I don't know if you guys noticed, degenerates. Back when Saturday afternoons were dominated by the wide world of sports on ABC, and they would have Battle of the Stars, where they'd have a relay race between TV people and football players, and Steve Garvey would try to fuck all the Charlie's Angels and shit. They would race, a human would race a horse every month, it seemed like, on Wide World Sports. Oh, he's so fast, I bet he can beat a horse. No, he can't. He cannot beat a horse. What if we give him a head start? Yeah, it still wouldn't do. What if he ran through a sheet of glass? Why would we do that? I don't know. That's how we used to clock pitches. We'd have a motorcycle race a Bob Feller fastball and see if it would go 90 miles an hour. I loved experimental math by idiots. That's what the sports world misses. Stunts. There's not enough stunts. I'm not even talking about Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel, R.I.P. The godfather of those stunts. Super Dave Osborne to spoof. So it was so big they would spoof it. But I mean experimental, like Mythbuster kind of. Problem with Mythbusters is there's too much science involved. We need dumbness. We need sports science, dumb science. Like Chris Collinsworth racing a horse. First of all, there's no way Chris Collinsworth was even the fastest man in football at any point. And you had him racing a horse. The horse won. Spoiler alert. Anyway. That's my 5 bombs. So Jacksonville -2, Tampa Bay -3, Denver +3, Cincinnati -3.5. And Washington +6.5 are the 5 bombs for the contest this week. Survivor, if you're still in it, I have 1 entry left in the Bet Online Survivor pool for over $600,000 or close to $600,000. The road to 10 million is derailed, but we're still in that one. Don't tell anyone, I whisper, as I also broadcast to the world. I don't think Bet Online is a legal thing, but we're going to hit it. We're going to take the Philadelphia Eagles this week to beat the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are an absolute mess. Deshaun Watson is still the quarterback. Thank God. That's what makes this play great. Now, there's a problem in Cleveland right now. An absolute, I mean, they act like this season's been going on for 3 years. It's only week 5. Deshaun Watson, it's amazing. Everyone hates Deshaun Watson. Cleveland hates Deshaun Watson. And why? Is it because of his 28 sexual assaults? No, it's because he's bad at football. He's been awful at football. And that is the biggest sin in Cleveland Browns fans' eyes. So I don't know what's going on in there, if they're going to play him or not. So I had to call in my Cleveland Brown insider, Brian McGee, who did the season preview for us. From training camp. He was at training camp, boots on the ground. Now he's in Cleveland. He's in the locker room. So he's just going to a quick call in. Let me call in Brian McGannon. Brian McGannon, welcome to the program. Take it away. What's going on there in Cleveland, specifically with Deshaun Watson? Let me see if I can get the sound here. Hold on here. There's we got Deshaun Watson. Hold on there a second. I might have to delay this for a second here. Hold on, we're having technical issues with having technical issues here. Hold on for a second. Let me call that. Let's see if I can. No, man, damn it. Now I'm gonna have to make that a clip here. Oh, you know what I'll do? Oh, hold on. I know how to fix this. Hold on here. I am the man in the box, so I've self-produced my show. No big deal. I got this covered. I am not afraid of this. All right, let me see if we can pull Brian McGannon back up here. Brian, are you with us?
Yeah, CJ, that's a great question.
Oh,
Well,
here we are.
you
Go
know,
ahead,
to be
Brian.
honest, the temperature in the Browns locker room right now is a little bit in a state of flux, right? You know, because to the naked eye, you know, we've all seen the histrionics and the body language on the field. You know, guys like Amari Cooper shaking his head in frustration after Watson misses a read.
Yeah.
Veterans like Joel Bitonio
Right.
get frustrated when Watson misses a protection and takes an unnecessary sack. So, you know, one would think that it's starting to cool off a little bit. But at the same time, you know, and I'm no body language expert, I've also seen guys dapping him up on the sidelines
Yeah.
and picking him up. So it isn't completely negative, right? And if we're being honest, you know, while a lot of the success of the franchise does revolve around Watson, you know, he isn't the only problem on offense, right? We've seen, you know, him take sack after sack. You know, we've seen the receivers just, there seems to be like a design flaw in the offense, right? So the reality is, if the Browns don't see some success, and I mean some success soon, and I'm not even necessarily talking about wins. I mean, they need to string together some first downs, string together some scoring drives, right? The temperature is going to be dropping significantly. And not unlike the people of Northeast Ohio know what happens when temperature drops significantly, right? It means one thing. Rising heat costs, rising energy bills,
What?
right?
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. Go down, see my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Check out the showroom. Go see their brand new vinyl pressed, custom made windows, custom built to fit your home. Go down and talk to my guy, Josh. Have him tell you about the brand new home effect. Now, what is that? The brand new home effect. Now, everyone knows that when you get new windows, you're going to be warmer, right? You're going to save money on heating bills, but also your home is going to feel better. It's going to look better. So go do yourself a favor and act now. Through the month of October and November, we're talking about free 0% financing for the first 36 months. Now, also, if you get 2 windows, you get another 2 windows free, right? You can't beat that. So go see the showroom down in Copley. Go see the showroom up in Brunswick. Universal Windows Direct. Say it with me. I love my windows. And another thing to consider, CJ, the Browns are going to be having a guy by the name of Nicholas Jamal Chubb coming back to the lineup soon. And historically, he's been an energy rod for this team, right? Well respected on and off the field. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks to see.
What we just we just got clipped off there. Thank you, Brian. Again, it looks like we lost your connection there. You must have been going under a tunnel. Thank you once again. And here we are, as you can see. Oh my God. Let me go wide shot there. Hilarious. Brian McGannon, my Browns insider, always just, I can't tell if he's giving an interview or if he's doing an ad read. He always likes to slip something in there. But I guess get your windows. And of course, that does seem like a great deal. So I will get down there and get 2 windows free. It is house changing season. So he has a little confidence. I do not. I'm going with the Eagles. That's my survivor pick. They're laying 10. I don't want to lay the 10 with it, but we'll take Eagles to move on and let's hope we can get onto the Super Bowl. Now let's get to the box. Thank you, everybody. Before we start my man in the box segment, thank you, Brian McGann, for calling in for the Browns Insider. He loves doing those fun ad reads. It is just absolutely hilarious there. And thanks to everyone in the chat room, of course. Robert Martin, Buford T. Justice, Kyle Bolin, EB Steelers, who jumped in late here, says, we're eating ass this weekend, boys. LFG, start tonight, bombs away. Absolutely start bombs away. I saw Geno Smith rushing ladder. People enjoyed that. That's fine if you like that. Like I said, I gave a white angle release on Jake Bobo, so get in there. But let's talk about box. I gave you all my football plays for this weekend. I'll be remiss if I did not talk about the end of the baseball season for me personally. The Bombino, I will still be giving out playoff bombs starting next week with the ALCS and NLCS. My fighting Phils lost yesterday to the Mets. Muck the Fets. I did not take it too well. I got in my feelings on X about baseball in general. That's what happens when you get baseball playoffs. You get into a team and it's very exciting. Much like hockey, it's emotional. You don't really get into baseball all year. Then it comes playoffs, you get, oh! Next thing you know, you're doing things you never done. You're wearing hats inside out. You're doing rally caps. You're chanting. Quite frankly, it's embarrassing. And then your team loses. You see yourself in the mirror and go, what the hell am I doing? I'm rooting for this corny ass shit. I say that baseball is only for children and the elderly. Their average age demographic is 74. Children like it. You know, they have gloves and candy and all that shit and cotton candy and Cracker Jacks. Everything else, all the adults in the middle liking baseball with their ball caps and outside their suits and shit. I don't say you don't even like baseball. You just miss your dad. That's what it is. Everyone misses their dad, so then they think baseball is going to bring him back. He's not going to bring him back, all right? Kevin Costner made an entire career out of this by tagging on those emotional heartlines of people missing their dead dad or dad who ran out the door for a pack of cigarettes. He's not coming back. You're throwing a catch to a ghost, a shoeless Joe ghost. Watching baseball is a nightmare too. Baseball, like I said before, it should either be listened to like on the radio in the background and with a fucking lawnmower, or read the next day in the this box score, like the NASDAQ or some shit. That's why every time like a great play happens, whatever, like Francisco Lindor's grand slam, magic moment, we get it. They immediately go, well, what's the radio call? You want to hear the radio call because that's how you want to hear it. These TV announcers are fucking horrendous. And I usually don't say, this announcer's partial. Bob Costas, he's been brutal. He's been absolutely brutal. As Boofer T says, you go from high-fiving guys to yelling at the same exact people in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Right, the magic's gone. You go in there and you're a child, for crying out loud. You're singing songs. Any sport where Sweet Caroline is allowed as a tradition in Boston, get out of here. You couldn't be more ridiculous. Now, I'm taking this a bit personal because not only did the Phillies lose, but they lost to the Mets, which is worst case scenario. And yeah, whatever. Tip of the fucking inside out rally cap to the Mets. But their fans are insufferable. They come out every 18 years like cicadas. They're the cicadas of baseball. To act like they've been winning the whole time, like they're Yankee fans. At least Yankee fans, yeah, they're arrogant assholes, but they have championships. Mets fans don't have shit. Oh, they're fucking hell. The real problem is, and you can say it's the bye, and the bye is a problem. As a Philly, the difference between Phillies fans and Braves fans, though, I'll say this. The Braves fans lost the last 2 years because of the bye. They blame the bye. And I'll admit, it probably does have something to do with it. But they blame the bye. Phillies fans, we had the bye. It cost us. But we're not blaming the fans. We're blaming us. We're like, we suck. And that's what a real fan does. We suck. Our team suck. Our team had the best record in baseball, basically, all year. We suck. Blow them up. They fucking blow. No, the real problem is it's baseball playoffs are, in a sense, flawed. Not just the bye, which you can't give baseball teams a bye. They can't take a week off. It changes their whole timing. But you have a best of 5 series. You got to win 3 out of 5. Every team in the league won 3 out of 5. Hell, the White Sox won 3 out of 5 at one point. And they're the worst team in the history of baseball. They say in order to have like a proper series to find out the best team, it has to be like best of 27 minimum. You have 162 games that mean nothing. The Mets and Tigers, like 2 months ago, were like 10 games under 500, 1,000-1. Oh, man. It's just insane. It's just insane. Incredible. FBI tugboat. Welcome to the show. He says, give me that bottom line. Siege. Sweet Carolina is horrible. Met clip for you. Whatever. You know what? Met clips. Go ahead and do your thing, Met clips. Although I do like that Padre team. And I'm here in LA, so I can't say it's going to be tough because I can't take Dodger fans either. But I also can't take Met fans. What team can I root for? Cleveland. Cleveland is the only team I can root for, and they're down 2-1. See, it'd be if every team with a bye loses, you have to say there's something is up. In a National League, no team with a bye has won a series yet. Since they put it in 2022. The Dodgers might do it, Game 5. Who knows? But it is what it is. It's baseball. It's at the end of the day, you're like, this is baseball. What was I doing? Shame on me for throwing a towel around and doing hot foots and all that other corny shit. God bless it. God bless the Mets. God bless the Mets. The fucking Mets. They're the worst things on earth. Anyway, all right, that's going to do it for the show. And I don't really mean that. You can watch baseball and enjoy it. I still will watch some of it and bet on it and base it. I can't wait for Game 5 Padres-Dodgers. That's a fun series. I will say this. There was a lot of white talk today in the show. All kinds of white athlete release. That might be the problem with the Phillies. We have, dare I say, too many whites. Now, whites are good, fine at baseball. But you look at the Padres, you need some fiery Latinos. Latinos, like, they know how to fucking do it up. They like to have fun out there, baby. There's not enough fun out there. That's what LA Sports Talk was really saying before Game 4, before the Dodgers tied it up. The Dodgers weren't having enough fun like the Padres. That was their analysis. Oh, fucking hilarious. I love it. You got to love it. Anyway, we got a big weekend of sports. I got to go. Thank you, everyone, for listening on the live chat. You guys were amazing. Make sure you give me a 5-star review. I don't care if it's a bad review. Make it funny. I don't care. But give me a Spotify 5-star review or iTunes. I'll say it on the air. I'll give you a shout out. Maybe you'll win some merch. Follow me on Instagrams. I have a show November 1st and November 2nd in Las Vegas at Wise Guys with the great Hannibal Burris. Me and Hockey Hannibal will be doing a show. You all get the absolute love. What else did I want to say? Oh, today, big triple header thing. I have the prop show coming up live next with Sean Green and Ryan Kramer. I'll give out some white angle releases there as well. That's up next. And after that, the Bombs Down Under with Colby D, the college show. It's a triple header of me, the man in the box, the bet detective. All right, C-Generates, that's going to do it for today's show. You guys have been amazing. Let's get some bombs. Let's fucking hit it. Over tonight. Let's go.